Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to change your Google Docs so that you can make it look any way you want it to. The first thing you need to do every time you open your Google Doc, and you probably already know this, is change your document title. So whenever you change your document title, it's going to change that document title for everybody that you have it shared with. So you have it shared with the teacher, it's going to change that document title in your teacher's drive as well. First thing you probably want to do is format your page. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, Page Setup. And in Page Setup, you can change your document portrait to landscape. So that means like portrait is up and down, landscape is side to side. You can change your paper size, which you probably wouldn't need to. Page color, which I don't really recommend doing because that would make it probably a lot harder to read. And if you're going to print something, it'll change, it'll take a lot of ink. Then we've got our margins, which is what you might want to change. The standard margin is 1 inch. So as long as your margins are set to that, then that's pretty normal. If we want to format our text, you can change your font. You've got all of these fonts that Google has loaded in here. But if you want to get real fancy, you can go to More Fonts. And you can choose, let's say, I want this font in my Google. Then all I do is click it, hit that checkbox, and that's just going to be added to my Google account. So I can use this font anytime I want to. Google also has it automatically set for your font to be size 11, but the standard for academic papers is size 12. Usually we should be using Arial or Times New Roman as well for academic papers. Bold, italicize, underline, that is all standard, and you should be familiar with that from using any word processing system. You can change your text color or your highlight color in this box. So both of those options are in here. So if you want to highlight your words, that's in here. Or if you want to change the actual letter color, then that's under text. We also may want to change our spacing. That's over here with this icon that's got a bunch of lines with the up and down pointing arrow. You can change your spacing. It's automatically set to 1.15, but I think 1.5 or single is probably where you need to be. If you're writing a paper, you might want it 1.5 just so it's a little bit easier to read, or if it's something that is maybe like an outline, single spacing might be fine, but we're going to keep it at 1.5 so you can see what that looks like. After that, we're going to show you guys how to do some bullets and numbering. All of that stuff is in here. Bulleted list, numbered list. You can change your numbered list. This would be like an outline. You can change your numbered list, the format of it. So if you want to use lowercase letters and lowercase Roman numerals, that's what it's automatically set to. If you want to use the parentheses with the lowercase letters and lowercase Roman numerals, if you want to use this decimal system, you can do that too. I like the normal formatted list. So once you choose that, it's going to give you your first list option. And anytime you hit enter, it's just going to automatically give you that second number. If you want to have an item, that is underneath item number 2, so it kind of fits with number 2, but you want it to be moved over, you just either click the tab button and that'll move it over, or you can hit the increase indent. Let's say after you're done with your detail items, let's say you want this to go back as item number 3 right over here, then you just click the decrease indent button. That'll bring it back to your main list. So that's pretty simple right there. Same thing with all the bullets. You can change a numbered list to a bulleted list if you decide after a while that you want to do that. You can also change what your bullets look like. So you can make them arrows, stars, whatever is set in there. Okay. Let's say I want to be done with my list. You can just delete that item number 4 or whatever, and now you'll be typing regular text. We're going to insert a table. So when we want to insert a table, we're going to go to Insert, and then table, which is pretty easy. And you can choose how many boxes you want it. 10 by 3, that's cool. If you want it 3 by 3, that's cool. We're going to start with a 3 by 3 table. So whoops. So let's say we're in the middle of doing our table and we decide, I really wanted a fourth column. All you do is you highlight that column and you right click. And on a Chromebook, a right click is just tapping the keypad or tapping the mouse pad with 2 fingers. So you do a 2-finger tap, which is the same as right clicking, and you can say insert column to the right. And that's going to give us a fourth column there. So we can also change our text direction just like we would in our regular text or the body of our paper. We can make it centered. We can make it right justified. We can make it left justified. We can bold, italicize, underline, whatever you want to do in that. You can also, let's say, I really needed another row here. You can say insert row below. Okay. So we're just we can keep inserting rows as long as we need to. That is how we're going to do a table. Next thing that's super, super important to remember is how to do a page break. So we're going to do page breaks by not hitting enter a bunch of times. What we notice is a lot of times when students want to go to the next page, they just hit enter a bunch of times till they get to page 2. And that is not the best way to do that. Because if I ever go back and change my font, change font size, change anything about my document, let's say I move this table somewhere else, that's going to mess up the formatting for your entire document. So the best way to do this is by doing a page break. You can either go to insert page break, or you can hit Control Enter at the same time, and that'll just bring you to the beginning of page 2. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is another feature that's also in the insert option here, is we're going to talk about headers and footers. So you can do Control-Alt-H or for header or Control-Alt-F for footer. Let's say I want a header. What that's going to do is on every single page of my document, I am going to have the same text typed at the top. So I want my header to be on the right, and I want it to be my last name, and then I want it to be my page number. So I'm going to type my last name, hit a space, and then hit page number. And then hopefully it will show up there. So anytime I hit a new page, so this is Truex page 1, it's Truex page 2, and then if I go to a third page, which I'm going to do a handy page break, Control Enter, it shows up there Truex page 3. So that's a really handy thing about headers and footers. If you insert a header on one page, it's going to show up on all of the pages. Notice I did not just type the number 1 in there, because if I did that, then it would say Truex 1 even on page 2, and it would say Truex 1 on page 3 as well. And that's not what I want. If you want to do a page number, you have to actually say, hey, I want a page number, and it'll know that you need a different number on every single page. There's a couple of other cool tools here that you might want to know about. There is a tool for spell check, which is important because Google does not automatically correct your spelling. There is a research and a define option. Define would be like looking up your word in the dictionary. And this is also going to give you a thesaurus option. So if you're using the word awesome a bunch of times, let's type that. If you use the word awesome a bunch of times, then you're probably going to want to change that up every once in a while. So you're going to hit define, and it'll bring you a bunch of synonyms that you can use too. Okay. On the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to insert things like charts, images, and then I'm going to show you a few add-ons as well, and how to see your revision history. So hopefully this beginner video is helpful.